So welcome back to lecture once again, guys. We have been talking about Azure services, and I think we have already discussed a lot of Azure services, right? So let's try to talk about those services a little bit in depth. Yeah. For example, for storage, we have a ADLS, Azure Data Lake Storage, right? Or maybe Event Hub, or maybe Cosmo DB. All of these things, we'll try to understand those things theoretically. So that I will be like a well versed with all of these services which is already available inside a Azure ecosystem. And again, I have prepared a beautiful documentation for all of you so that it is going to help you out even for a revision in a future, which is already available inside your dashboard. Now, Azure Data Lake Storage, a very important and a major component for anyone and everyone, because whenever you will be talking about, or whenever you will be building any kind of a services or solution with respect to big data or data in general, let's talk about data. Yeah. So you have to store those data, right? You have to store those data. Now, which service you are going to use? ADLS, Azure Data Lake Storage, generation 2, right? Which is nothing but built on top of a legacy Azure blob storage. So initially, when Azure has released a services, so its name was basically a blob storage, where we used to store our data a year back. But now, so that service became Azure Data Lake Storage, where we can do a exact same thing. So Azure Data Lake Storage is a foundation layer for a big data in Azure. It's a highly scalable, cost-effective, secure storage built on top of, like I said, Azure Blob Storage. What is the feature? So here, just like you create a folder structure in your system, maybe in a Mac, maybe in a Linux, maybe into a Windows machine. And I'll show you even in a practical manner. It's very easy to showcase. So the way we try to maintain and manage a folder structure in our system, right? Folder inside folder, then files and all those things. So in the similar manner, I will be able to do it even inside ADLS. So anyone and everyone, means you don't have to do extra learning for that. So once your ADLS service will be up, once you are going to create it, once you are going to configure it, simple, go create a folder structure, a folder inside folder, whatever hierarchy that you are looking for, and then you can try to keep a file, and then you can try to eventually process it. But yeah, so just like a local system, we try to maintain and manage the file in the similar manner, I will be able to do it. It supports structured data, semi-structured data, unstructured data. Technically means all kind of a data, right? So whatever data that you have, whatever kind of a file that you have, you will be able to store it. And then fine-grained ACL, access control list for a security. So if I would like to give a file level access, folder level access, directory level access, I can try to configure that in a easiest possible manner. And then I can try to call, or I can try to access this data, the data which I'm going to store inside my ADLS services programmatically, or with a Databricks Synapse, or maybe with the Azure Data Factory, or even inside a Power BI. Technically meaning is that I can access it anywhere that I want. Simple, right? Anywhere that I want, I will be able to access it. So I just need authentication. That's it. Apart from that, nothing is required. I will be able to access this entire data set. And it's very easy to maintain and manage. Like I said, it provides you a local system kind of a directory structure. So where you can create any kind of a hierarchy, right? So think ADLS like a data warehousing for a raw file. Means whatever file that I will receive, maybe a Excel sheet, maybe a JSON, maybe a CSV, maybe Parquet, maybe whatever I'm going to receive it, dump it. Simple. Create a proper hierarchy, maintain a proper hierarchy, and then dump those data over there, right? So here what we do, so for like a data, so we try to create a different layer. Different layer means file folder structure. Again, I have seen that many people who try to learn a big data initially, so they generally gets confused with these terms called as bronze or silver or gold. I mean, like, you don't have to get confused. Think just as a directory, a folder I'm creating. Means in one folder, I will try to keep raw data, and technically it's called as bronze layer. In some of the companies, in some of the project, you are going to name it in your own way. Generally, we even try to name it as a L1 layer, L2 layer, L3 layer, L4 layer. Depends. But yeah, in general, if I'll talk about a big data industry, so generally we say bronze, silver, and gold. It's nothing but just a directory structure, guys. You don't have to worry much about it, right? or maybe a databases, bronze database, or maybe silver, or maybe gold. So in case of bronze or maybe L1, so we are going to dump all the raw data from wherever I'm receiving the data. I'll try to dump it over there. Then I will try to read that data, process that data by using maybe a Spark or some other programming language. And then we are going to like store those process data somewhere, right? That somewhere is called as silver layer. And then we will try to, derive a business analytics on top of that, okay, this business need this set of data, this business need this set of the data. So that is technically called as a gold layer or curated layer. So generally, don't get confused, right? It's a generic naming convention that we have given. Maybe in your project when you will join, so you will give a different name, right? Depends, and we also give a different names. But yeah, in general, in a big data industry, this is how this layers has been like layers you can try to understand. Again, so storage for ML training data set. I mean, like it's just a storage, right? So whether you are doing a ML training or you are not doing ML training, you can just try to store it, as simple as that. So this is about ADLS. I believe you all are able to understand that what is ADLS, a storage unit. Fine. Now, so let's talk about Azure Synapse Analytics. What it does basically. So it's a service, right? It's an integrated service, unified analytics service that combines a big data and data warehousing. Big data means a processing. Warehousing means where you can generate the analytics after storing the data, after cleaning all those things. So it can query data from both a structured database and raw file in ADLS. So Azure Synapse, you can try to connect with any other databases, right? Or maybe ADLS, the above one, right? Azure data lake services. Now, key feature. So dedicated SQL pool, so high performance data warehousing with massively parallel processing. So this is going to provide you dedicated SQL pool. Serverless SQL pool also is available, right? So query file directly from a ADLS using a T-SQL. So let's suppose I have the data which is available inside my storage, the above one, inside folder, let's say, yeah, folder. Will not take too much like a technical name. So we can try to take maybe some layman kind of a name as well. So if I have a data in my folder, I can even query it. Means without even storing those data into a SQL system, I can just query it. Simple. This is what it is going to provide you. Spark integration it is going to provide you. If I have to process the data inside a Synapse, means in one service you will get everything. Click, 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 and then spawn the services. As simple as that. Built-in data integration pipeline, ADF like capability, Azure Data Factory like capability, you will be able to find out inside a Synapse. There is something called a Synapse Studio, from where you can access everything, means whatever I've talked about, right? And this is also a part of your practical things that we are going to do. So just wait for a practical, we'll do it. Yeah. So one-stop workspace for integration, preparation, exploration, and a visualization. So just launch your Synapse Studio, do everything what you want, whatever you want, simple, right? Now, so analogy, so Synapse is like a brain to your data lakehouse. It connects storage, ADLS, ADLS or SQL system, right? SQL databases, processing and analytics in one single place. So just launch AWS Synapse and then inside a studio, you will be able to get everything. There is an amazing service you will be able to find out called as ADF, Azure Data Factory. Drag and drop, do whatever you want. And they have already given you a connectors. So just by drag and drop, and then, setting up all the configuration things, you will be able to build the entire pipeline visually. Visually, you will be able to build the entire pipeline. And this is where this ADF comes into a picture. So it's a suite in itself, I would say. Like I said, they give you a connector. So they give you connector for almost everything. They give you custom API call as well, right? So you can try to, configure everything. You can try to even schedule everything. You can try to, parameterize each and everything that you want. And you can try to orchestrate. You can try to create basically a complete ETL pipeline with ease. This is where this ADF comes into a picture. Many people are using it across our industry, right? Now, Databricks. So this Azure Databricks is not different from a Databricks is that providing you. So Azure is having a tie-up with the Databricks. So they are providing you Azure Databricks integrated services. So where it is going to use a Databricks resources, compute, storage, everything, right? If I'll talk about just a Databricks, so Databricks wise, you can try to even run Databricks serverless. You can try to even connect with the AWS or from a Databricks itself. Means don't even without even looking into Azure Databricks, you can try to do that. That is also possible. But from Azure, you can also launch a Azure Databricks where it is going to use a resources from a database. This also means compute and storage. Simple. This is what you can like think as of now. Now, so again, if there is a Databricks, it provides you everything, right? It provides you everything. So it provides you even a Delta Lake for AC transaction. I have already discussed about it in my Databricks session. So those who would like to learn more about it, you can go ahead and you can try to learn about that one. Now, there is something called as Azure Event Hub. So if I'm looking for a real-time data ingestion and streaming platform, just like a Apache Kafka. Apache Kafka, we have already discussed in my like a lot of lectures, even inside a big data masters, even inside my Databricks lectures, Databricks masters lecture. So you can go and you can try to check. Practically, I have discussed. This is what I'm talking about. So there you will be able to like see a real-time ingestion and streaming platform called as Azure Event Hub, which is again like following the similar kind of a concept like a Kafka. So this is that just a Kafka, right? CosmoDB. So if I would like to store data into a NoSQL kind of a system, maybe MongoDB kind of a system, right? A key value or document based kind of a system. So in that case, I can go ahead with the CosmoDB, as simple as that. Now, if I'll talk about like a complete end-to-end workflow. So first, for any big data ingestion, then what? So then basically storage. So ingestion wise, if I have maybe real-time data, so in that case, I can try to use Event Hub or anything, right? Anything that depends upon like a data source, by the way. Then storage basically, right? So bronze, silver, gold layer, then processing unit, right? So then maybe a analytical unit, and then maybe a like a NoSQL if required. But again, this is not a static pipeline that you should look into. You can try to create your own, depends upon the use cases. But in general, this is what you will be able to find out. And in general, this is what you are supposed to know, you are supposed to understand. So hope this makes sense to all of us guys with that. Thank you so much everyone. Take care. See you again in my next lecture. Hope all of you are enjoying it.